You know them, the person who walks into a room and doesn't say a word, yet every head turns. They never raise their voice, yet everyone listens. They never flex their resume, yet everyone assumes they're the most capable person in the room. What do they have that you don't? It's not money. I've seen broke college students with this magnetic pull. It's not looks. I've met average looking people who command a roomful of models. It's not even raw intelligence. Some of the smartest people I know get completely overlooked. What they have is invisible, but it's so potent, it rewrites the rules of every social interaction. And here's what shocked me. This secret has been hiding in plain sight for over 500 years. The strategist Machiavelli wrote that the world's most influential players use it daily, yet 99% of people live their entire lives without knowing it exists. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm going to reveal this hidden trait and show you exactly how to build it, starting right now. But consider this your warning. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. You'll start spotting who has real power in a boardroom, at a party, in any relationship, and who's just putting on a show. You'll understand let's uncover Machiavelli's most dangerous secret. You've been sold a lie your entire life. You were told that power comes from being the loudest, the most aggressive, the one who demands the spotlight. Let me be clear, that's not power. That's what insecure people do when they're desperate for control. It's a performance. It's fake power. Real power operates in silence. It works from the shadows. It influences people so subtly they never even realize they're being guided. It's not about pushing, it's about pulling without anyone seeing the strings. Think of the most powerful person you actually know, not a celebrity, someone from your work, your social circle. Do they scream for attention? Do they constantly talk about their wins? Do they need to dominate every conversation? No, I bet they don't. They have something else. A quiet gravity that makes people naturally orbit around them. A presence that generates respect without a single demand. I call this invisible dominance, and it is the single most unfair advantage a human being can possess. While everyone else is scrambling and competing for a sliver of attention, you will simply command it. While they're fighting to be heard, people will lean in to catch your every word. While they're begging to be taken seriously, you will be granted automatic authority. And the most devastating part, no one will know you're doing anything at all. The average person is a walking, talking open book. They broadcast their emotions, their plans, their fears, their weaknesses. They're advertising their own vulnerabilities. Invisible dominance makes you a closed, fascinating manuscript. It makes people work to understand you. It creates a magnetic mystery that pulls people in while you remain in complete control. Machiavelli said it perfectly. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. That is the foundation. Controlling the perception while keeping your true power hidden. Most people think influence is about being the biggest presence in the room. That's amateur hour. Real influence comes from being the strategic force nobody sees coming until it's too late to resist. Let's dismantle a belief that's probably destroying your influence as we speak. Most people think that being 100% open and transparent makes them trustworthy and authentic. In reality, it makes you predictable, and predictability makes you controllable. When people can read your every emotion, predict your every reaction, and know exactly how you'll respond to any situation, they own you. You become a puppet on a string. If everyone around you always knows what you're thinking, feeling, and planning, you have exactly zero power. That's not being authentic. That's being strategically foolish. Look at anyone who consistently gets what they want. Do they tell everyone their next move? Do Do they have emotional outbursts over minor setbacks? Do they explain and justify their every decision to anyone who asks? Absolutely not. They keep their cards held close. They reveal information strategically, not emotionally. They understand a fundamental law of power. Predictability is the enemy. When someone knows criticism makes you defensive, they can use criticism to control you. When they know what praise makes you compliant, they can manipulate you with flattery. When they understand your triggers, they can push those buttons whenever it serves them. Machiavelli noted, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is can judge a person's power by how much they keep hidden. The powerful treat information like gold. The weak give it away for free and then wonder why they're constantly used and discarded. Every time you overshare, you lose leverage. Every time you overreact, you lose respect. Every time you over-explain, you lose authority. The goal isn't to be mysterious for no reason. The goal is to be strategic about what you reveal, when you reveal it, and to whom. Information is currency. Every piece you give away is power you surrender. Every emotion you broadcast is a weapon you hand to someone else. Being unreadable isn't about being fake. It's about being smart. Here is a truth that will transform every single conversation you have for the rest of your life. The person asking the questions controls the dynamic, not the person doing all the talking. Most people operate under a fatal misconception. They think talking more means contributing more. They believe if they're not speaking, they're not adding value. They rush to fill every silence because quiet makes them uncomfortable. This is their greatest weakness. And your greatest opportunity. While everyone else is talking, you are learning. While they're revealing their strategies, you're discovering their weaknesses. While they're performing, you're gathering priceless intelligence. Silent observation grants you superpowers that chatterboxes will never possess. You start to notice what others miss completely, the subtle shift in posture when a sensitive topic arises, the specific words that trigger a flash of insecurity, the hidden agendas buried beneath their polished stories. People will hand you this information on a silver platter because they're too busy hearing their own voice to realize what they're giving away. But here's the master move. This isn't about being antisocial. You are fully engaged. You are contributing. You're just doing it with surgical precision instead of impulsive noise. You ask thoughtful, penetrating questions that make people reveal more than they intended. You make razor-sharp observations that prove you're truly listening. You contribute profound insights at the perfect moment for maximum impact, but you don't volunteer personal information unprompted. You don't fill awkward silences with nervous chatter. You don't feel the need to have an opinion on everything. Machiavelli argued, since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Let me translate that for the modern world. When people can't easily read you, they don't know whether to love you, fear you, or simply respect you. So they often end up doing all three. Every conversation becomes a strategic game where you're always 3 steps ahead because you're the only one playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. People will start seeking your counsel because they see you as someone who truly listens. They will trust your judgment because you don't rush to conclusions. They will value your opinions because you don't share them carelessly. Affirm this now. Comment, I speak with purpose, listen with power, and observe with advantage. Let's talk about a law of human psychology that most people violate every single day, destroying their own value in the process. Scarcity creates value. Unlimited availability destroys it. If you are always available, you become background noise. If you say yes to every request, your agreement becomes meaningless. If you respond to every message instantly, people stop appreciating your attention. You are literally training the world to take you for granted. But when you become selectively, strategically available, something magical happens. Your presence becomes an event. Your attention becomes a reward. Your time becomes a precious commodity. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding the most basic wiring of human nature. People value what is rare and overlook what is common. Think about it. Gold is valuable because it's rare. Diamonds are precious because they're scarce. A masterpiece is priceless because it is one of a kind. Your attention, your time, your presence, they must operate by the same rules. When you make yourself strategically scarce, people begin to work to earn your time instead of expecting it. Your yes carries immense weight because people know your no is always a possibility. Machiavelli wisely said, "Men in general judge more by the sense of sight than by the sense of touch, for everyone can see, but few can test by feeling." Most people will judge your value based on how easily they can access you. Make access too easy, and they will instinctively assume you're not that valuable. How does this look in practice? You don't answer every call on the first ring. You respond when it fits your schedule and priorities. You don't accept every invitation. You choose the ones that are truly worth your energy. You don't drop everything the moment someone demands your attention. You give it when you decide it's appropriate. This forces people to earn your engagement through respect, not extract it through entitlement. It transforms your presence from a right into a privilege. When you do show up, people notice. When you do contribute, it lands. When you do engage, everyone pays attention because they know you don't waste your energy on trivialities. Your scarcity becomes your strength. Your selectivity becomes your power. Comment this down below. My time is precious. My presence is powerful. 5. Mastering strategic presence. Most people think that to have influence, they need to be everywhere, in everything, all the time. They attend every event, insert themselves into every conversation, and voice an opinion on every topic. They believe more presence equals more power. They are dead wrong. Strategic presence isn't about being everywhere. It's about being in the right place at the perfect time with devastating impact. When you master this, you don't just attend events. You become the event that people remember. Here's the difference. Random presence makes you forgettable. Strategic presence makes you unforgettable. Instead of trying to be part of every discussion, you choose the one discussion that matters. Instead of attending every gathering, you appear at the one gathering where your presence will shift the entire dynamic. Instead of speaking whenever you have a thought, you speak when your words will have the most profound resonance. This requires a discipline that most people lack. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can absolutely dominate the great ones. It means being absent from some moments so that the moments you choose become legendary. Machiavelli illustrated this with the fox and the lion. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Strategic presence is knowing precisely when to be the observant, cunning fox, and when to transform into the commanding, powerful lion. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to stay in the shadows, watching and learning. Other times, the only right move is to step into the light and take complete control. The power lies in reading the situation perfectly and responding with flawless precision. When you enter a room strategically, the energy shifts. When you speak strategically, your words echo long after you've left. When you act strategically, results follow. But if you're everywhere, constantly, you become part of the furniture. If you talk endlessly, your words become background noise. If you react to everything, people stop taking you seriously. And remember, strategic presence also means knowing when to make your exit. The person who knows how to leave a conversation or an event at the peak moment often creates the strongest, most lasting impression. You want people wishing you had stayed longer, never wondering when you'll finally leave. This is where most people lose the game. They allow other people's actions to dictate their emotions, and they let their emotions dictate their reactions. Every single day, people will try to manipulate you. They'll use praise to make you drop your guard. They'll use criticism to make you defensive and emotional. They'll use pressure to make you hasty and impulsive. They'll use flattery to make you careless and compliant. If you react emotionally to these tactics, they win. You lose. Emotional mastery is not about becoming a robot, devoid of feeling. It's about feeling everything deeply, but responding to nothing unless that response serves your strategic goals. When someone insults you, feel the anger, but don't show it unless showing it gives you a distinct advantage. When someone flatters you, enjoy the praise, but don't become addicted to their validation. When someone pressures you, acknowledge their urgency, but don't let it rush you into a poor decision. Your emotions are data, not directives. Most people confuse being authentic with being reactive. They think expressing every feeling immediately is a sign of honesty. In reality, it's a sign of weakness. It makes you predictable and easy to control. Machiavelli observed that history's patterns never change. Whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past, for human events ever resemble those of preceding times. And the pattern is clear. Emotional people get controlled. Composed people stay in power. What does this look like in real life? Someone tries to bait you into an angry outburst. Instead of taking the bait, you pause, process the intent, and respond with a calm, strategic counter, or choose not to respond at all. Someone creates a fake crisis to force a quick decision. Instead of panicking, you deliberately take the time you need, ignoring their artificial timeline. Someone uses guilt or fear to manipulate you. Instead of folding, you recognize the tactic, consider your true options, and act in your own best interest. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you powerful. When chaos erupts and you remain calm, people instinctively look to you for leadership. When others are panicking and you stay rational, people trust your judgment above all others. When emotions are running high and you maintain control, you become seen as the solution. Silence is the most powerful weapon in your arsenal, and most people are terrified to use it. They think silence is awkward. They think it means they're not contributing. They think if they're not talking, they're not valuable. They are profoundly mistaken. Strategic silence is more powerful than any string of words you could utter. It creates space for others to reveal their true intentions. It builds a tension that makes your eventual words land with incredible force. It demonstrates a level of confidence that no amount of talking can ever achieve. But there's a crucial difference between awkward silence and strategic silence. One makes you look uncomfortable. The other makes you look formidable. When do you deploy this weapon? After you make a powerful point, let it hang in the air, let it sink in. Don't immediately dilute it with justification or explanation. When someone asks you a loaded question, pause, hold their gaze, let the tension build. This gives you time to think and forces them to sit with their own attempt at manipulation. When a negotiation is tense, the first one to speak often loses leverage. Your silence is a pressure tool. When everyone is talking over each other, your quiet composure will make you the most centered and noticeable person in the room. Machiavelli wrote, "Never was anything great achieved without danger." Strategic silence is dangerous because it gives you an advantage others don't expect, but it requires a courage that most people lack. Here's the beautiful part. Most people are so uncomfortable with silence that they will rush to fill it with information you never asked for. They'll reveal their weaknesses, expose their bottom line, and give away their position just to escape a few seconds of quiet. This is pure gold for you. While they're talking to fill the void, you're learning. While they're nervously revealing their hand, you're calculating your next move. While they're getting anxious, you're growing more powerful. Silence also forces people to work for your attention. When someone knows you won't react to everything they say, they will put more thought into what they say to you. Your words become events, not just noise. When you finally speak after a period of strategic silence, people lean in. They listen. They remember what you said because it stands out from the endless stream of chatter. Here is a catastrophic mistake that destroys potential, showing all your cards right away. People think demonstrating their full capabilities immediately will build instant credibility and value. In reality, it kills your power stone dead. When you reveal everything up front, you eliminate all mystery. You destroy any sense of intrigue. You hand others the blueprint to your strengths, allowing them to develop counter strategies. You become predictable, and as we've established, predictable equals controllable. The powerful reveal their capabilities strategically, piece by deliberate piece, always keeping something in reserve. They understand that mystery maintains power, while total transparency destroys it. This applies to everything: your skills, your knowledge, your resources, your connections. Never show your full hand in the first meeting. Never demonstrate your complete skill set unless the situation demands it. Never share everything you know just to impress someone. Give people enough to be intrigued, but never so much that they feel they have you completely figured out. Machiavelli advised, "He who neglects what is done for what ought to be done sooner effects his ruin than his preservation." Most people think they ought to be completely open, but strategically, that path leads to ruin. Keeping capabilities hidden serves multiple purposes. It allows you to deliver surprising strength when others underestimate you. It gives you flexibility to adapt as new information arises. It prevents others from building defenses against your full arsenal. It creates a continuous curiosity that keeps people engaged and invested in you. Let's be clear, this isn't about being deceptive. It's about being selectively transparent. You answer questions honestly, but you don't volunteer extra information. You demonstrate clear competence, but you don't showcase your entire library of skills unprompted. This works everywhere. Others can't copy what they don't know exists. People can't take you for granted when they're still discovering what you're capable of. You can't be manipulated using triggers you haven't revealed. Your hidden capabilities are your secret weapons. Your concealed knowledge is your strategic advantage. Your unrevealed resources are your insurance policies. People respect what they can see, but they are fascinated by what they can. And fascination is the gateway to immense Let's talk about a psychological principle that gives you immense leverage. People make mistakes when they are uncertain. Powerful people create a level of productive uncertainty in others while maintaining absolute certainty within themselves. When people cannot predict your next move, they guess their own strategies. When they can't read your intentions, they approach with caution. When they don't know where they stand with you, they work harder to earn your favor. This isn't about being difficult or erratic. It's about understanding that certainty makes people lazy, while a healthy uncertainty keeps them sharp, engaged, and respectful. Think about any relationship where one person is completely predictable. The other person stops trying. There's no challenge, no mystery, no reason to invest extra effort. But when there's a layer of strategic uncertainty, when someone can pleasantly surprise you or keep you guessing in a positive way, the dynamic remains alive and electric. This applies to every interaction. When people know exactly how you'll react to everything, they stop respecting your reactions. When they can predict your responses, they can easily manipulate them. Machiavelli is famous for saying, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." But let me give you a deeper, more modern truth. It is better to be unpredictable than either feared or loved, because unpredictable people are ultimately given the most respect. How do you create this productive uncertainty? Vary your response times. Don't be chronically slow. Be strategic. Respond quickly when it serves you. Take your time when patience gives you an advantage. Modulate your engagement. Be warm and engaging at one moment, more reserved and focused the next. People will value your warmth more if they can't assume they'll always get it. Be selectively available. Have genuine priorities that sometimes take precedence over others' demands. Mix your decision-making pace. Sometimes decide on the spot with conviction. Other times, tell people you need to sit with it, showing that you are deliberate. The goal is to generate interest and engagement, not anxiety. The uncertainty should create curiosity, not stress. Now we arrive at the practical application. This is about transforming yourself into someone who operates with invisible dominance, not just understanding the theory. This isn't about changing your personality. It's about upgrading your operating system. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming the most potent, strategic version of yourself. First, you must eliminate these three power-draining habits. The need for constant validation. Stop seeking approval from everyone in every situation. Your worth is not determined by a committee. Chasing external validation makes you weak and predictable. Approve of yourself. The urge to over-explain. When you make a decision, you do not owe the world a detailed report. When you set a boundary, do not apologize for it. When you say no, let it be a complete sentence. Explanations are often just invitations for debate. Emotional reactivity. Feel your emotions fully. Process them privately. Then, and only then, choose a strategic response. Your first emotional impulse is rarely your most powerful move. Machiavelli said, "The best fortress is to be found in the love of the people." But in the context of self-mastery, your best fortress is self-control. Because people cannot manipulate what they cannot predict or understand. Now, build these three power-generating habits. The strategic pause before you respond to anything important. A question, a criticism, a request. Pause. This does three things. It gives you time to think, it makes you appear composed, and it makes your eventual words carry more weight. Become a question asker. Default to asking insightful questions rather than making declarative statements. Questions give you information and control. Statements often just reveal your position. Practice precision communication. Make every word count. Eliminate filler words, unnecessary apologies, and rambling explanations. Speak with clarity and purpose. The ultimate goal is to become the person who influences outcomes without anyone seeing the mechanics of how it's done. You become the one others turn to for leadership without you ever having to ask for it. You become the one whose opinion carries weight without you ever having to argue for it. You become the one whose presence shifts the energy of a room without you ever announcing your arrival. This is invisible dominance in its purest form. Maximum influence with minimum visible effort. Maximum respect with minimum drama. Maximum power with minimum resistance. Here is your final takeaway. True power works in the shadows. Fake power performs under spotlights. While everyone else is exhausted from fighting for attention, you will be building unshakable influence. While they are hoarse from demanding respect through noise, you will be earning it through quiet strategy. While they try to control people through force and manipulation, you will control outcomes through silent, undeniable presence. This hidden trait isn't a genetic gift. It's a strategic skill, and like any muscle, it gets stronger every time you use it. Every conversation from now on is a training ground. Every decision is a chance to choose strategy over impulse. Every interaction is an opportunity to demonstrate the power of being unreadable, composed, and strategically engaged. Start now. Your next conversation is your first drill. Don't try to impress, aim to understand. Don't fear the silence, wield it. Don't react to their energy, control your own. The world is filled with people screaming to be seen and heard. You will become the exception, the calm, hidden force that is seen, heard, and respected without ever having to beg for it. If this shifted your perspective on true power, let me know in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to see beyond the noise. Subscribe for more strategies that give you a real, unfair advantage in life. Remember, the most powerful person in any room is often the one everyone underestimates, because they can't be read, they can't be predicted, and they can't be controlled. Drop this final affirmation and claim your power. I am the hidden force that shapes my reality through invisible dominance and strategic action. Now go become unstoppable.